There's a saying that laziness is the mother of progress. A person endowed with ingenuity will not waste their talent in vain. Of course, in the age of modern technology, when almost all the work is done by modern devices for us, while we just have to press the right button, people have become so lazy that they no longer want to make anything and invent. Nevertheless, if a person is a real inventor at heart, they will always find a way to surprise everyone. In this episode, you will see unique homemade tools that greatly simplify the life of people. Perhaps these ideas will inspire you to invent your own devices and tools. So, get comfortable and watch the video till the end. Imagine that you invited your friends and you want them to stay overnight. When they see this bed moving right from the ceiling, they will stay with you all night long. People often decorate ceilings but pay much less attention to the floor. Such a floor will change everything. This is the most unusual sink in the world, which seems to read your thoughts. The perfect sink looks exactly like this. Not every coffee lover loves coffee more than anything in the world. Just look at what is stored inside this coffee table. How to get into the secret room with a bottle of whiskey? You just need to turn it. Every married man dreams of such a treehouse where neither his wife nor children, and especially his mother-in-law, will find him. With the help of such a homemade device, the bag can be filled with any bulk material without much effort. And this cart is cooler than any motorcycle because it can transport not only you, but your cargo too. This is the best choice if you plan to move to another place. And this is a life hack for a poultry farm. It allows you to isolate your birds during their free time. With the help of a mechanical hammer, you can create real masterpieces. There are a lot of ways to keep the child busy, and some of them will even help you in the household. The wheel is a universal helper at any time of the year. It can get water and remove snow. At the same time, the mechanism of water extraction can always be improved. When all amusement parks were closed due to the coronavirus, this inventive father showed ingenuity and created an attraction right in his yard. When you see such a beauty, you understand the level of trepidation and love of a person who created it, thus making their dreams come true. In this case, we are not talking about a dream, but also a curious invention that saves a little time in the morning. As a result, they have more time left to create such a masterpiece. However, initially, it was also necessary to find tools for this. And it seems that everything started like this. Then the expert got a little carried away. Well, you've already seen the result. And here we have a gadget that will not leave indifferent lovers of cleanliness and order. In this case, everything is simple, like in case with any ingenious invention. This device is also exceptionally simple, but it was still necessary to come up with such an idea. As in the case of this mousetrap, take a look at this friendly device that caught the animal and did no harm. And now, let's move to the portable fence from the portable mousetrap. How do you like it? And this one? And in this case, one broken thing turns into a key part for a new mechanism. While here, new mechanisms are used for other purposes, but the result seems to be fair enough. And here we can see the results of a combination of laziness and rational distribution of physical labor. You need to assemble the watering system once, and you can be free all day. Well, these guys decided to use some sort of physics, and as a result, they do their job quickly and efficiently. Right next to them, guys replaced the magnet with suction cups, but the main thing is that it works. What a great way to solve problems effectively and ruthlessly coping with everything. And why wouldn't you like to feel like a hero of an almost fantastic movie? Moreover, not everyone can make such a flying machine at home. And this one is not so fantastic. It's quite down to earth. However, one will need much more time to install it than to operate it. But if a person combines a creative nature and inventive impulses, they will create something like this. It seems to be a scooter, and it seems that Futurama has come out into reality. But sometimes you still have to spend brilliant ideas on creating ordinary, everyday gadgets. After all, the corn will not clean itself, and the harvest will not water itself. Even though the design looks ridiculous, but its efficiency solves a lot of issues. By the way, a few words about efficiency. Why would they want to collect any plastic junk in the house if after a little reflection, the owner has designed a quick solution to the problem? And here, people are concerned about the issue of cleanliness so much that they had to use the skills of Spider-Man. This guy also became a little closer to the future when he upgraded his bike to the level of almost an electric car. In general, work efficiency is always about ingenuity, not the number of working hours. Do you agree? After all, it is much more efficient to move on a so-called all-terrain vehicle. You can move by both water and air. Fast, convenient, modern, and brilliant. And if we forget about speed, then the main thing is to work comfortably and in good company. By doing so, you make sure that the time passes faster. There is no off-road that would not submit to an inventive mind and resourcefulness. The idea of installing a truck onto a crawler is more than practical. Working with scissors on metal is something truly complex and hard for a person without experience. It also brings a lot of risks. However, such a creative life hack will turn this routine into an easy and fast process. And this is what a homemade bike riding simulator looks like. So how do you like it, Elon Musk? And this simple method will significantly help you save time and effort if you need to wind up a hose, cable, and rope, virtually anything. It is truly versatile. Paint has to be thoroughly shaken and stirred before use, and you can see how an ordinary drill copes with such a task perfectly. Looking at this video, we can assume that such attractions may soon appear in every city and will make a serious competition to amusement parks. Has your phone run out of battery? There is a way out. Just use potatoes. Personally, I've never charged my phone with potatoes, but if you decide to conduct such an experiment, then be sure to write in the comments what happened. Cycling is useful at any age, and if your legs are too weak now, then using your hands is the best solution. This automatic watering assistant will do all the work for you, and you can spend your time with your loved ones. You have a motorcycle, but you don't have a processing machine? As you can see, this is not a problem anymore. Usually the stairs take up a lot of space in the house, but if you think everything through correctly, you can easily hide it at any time. If you have a rich imagination, you can create your own fantasy world right in your apartment. Many people like lava lamps to create a mysterious atmosphere, but LED waterfalls look even more fabulous. This unique chair takes up extraordinarily little space, but if necessary, it easily turns into a large sofa that can accommodate the whole family. If you live in a small apartment, then such a desktop will help to save space. Don't you have a garage but a basement? Wonderful! What will you say about placing a garage right under the lawn? If you have to share a room with a neighbor who annoys you, then you can fence yourself off from him with a wall of such cubes. If there's a room with a dining table, you can't really do other things there. And what if the table appears only before lunch and disappears after? It'll be much more practical. If you constantly forget which way the door opens, then this option is perfect for you. What could be cooler than a big screen TV? Only a TV that appears and disappears at your will. This house is beautiful both outside and inside, but the most amazing room can be found right under the water. Is it possible to go home swimming? Well, why not? The fireplace always creates an atmosphere of comfort and romance, but in the 21st century, even fireplaces can look very futuristic. The owner of this house dreamed of a terrace with sharks. He needed them to reach a state of complete happiness. This is going to be useful for those of you who are always worried about breaking glass. Now this problem can be solved with the help of a special substance. As you can see, a few drops of the miracle remedy and the crack is gone. Have you always been wondering where to put the annoying wire? How to fold it in a careful way? It turns out that everything brilliant is simple. It is enough to take an empty canister and attach a handle to it. That's it. You can safely wind the wire and no longer worry about its safety. Are you tired of going up and down the stairs? Then such an invention will make your life easier. It is still unclear how to use this watch, but the mechanism itself looks remarkably interesting, doesn't it? It's hard to imagine why it was necessary to create something like this. It looks like a double metal pump. If you live in a private house with a garden, then you certainly know how difficult it is to dig up the entire garden with an ordinary shovel in the spring. So here's a life hack for gardeners to make their life easier. Are you also tired of hammering nails with an ordinary hammer? Are you afraid of hitting your fingers? Here's the best solution. This guy managed to create an interesting mini tool that will help you cope with this difficult task without too much effort. So, try to remember it. Do you think a treadmill is only needed by people who want to get rid of excess weight? You're wrong! It turns out that a mini treadmill can be assembled even for a jar of sparkling water with legs. However, it is unclear how it will lose weight, but someone had a lot of fun watching this fascinating spectacle. Do you need to cut some details out of wood quickly and efficiently? It's not an issue at all. You can now easily do this with the help of such a small machine. Just take a look at how perfectly this device works. Do you need to dig up a field quickly and you don't have a tractor? It doesn't matter, since there is a way out of any situation. And the owner of this car probably knows this better than anyone. He attached a special device that digs the ground right to his vehicle. What was the result? You can see it for yourself. It seems that this car was broken many years ago, but now it has new life and brings a lot of benefits for people. It's sad, but in many countries, the life of people with disabilities is a daily struggle for survival. They have to become real inventors in order to adapt. We have to say that many of them succeed with their brilliant ideas. They are real heroes. Thermal treatment of soil is the process of burning the soil to destroy pathogenic bacteria, pests, and weeds. Usually, thermal treatment is done with the help of huge tractors, but they are extremely expensive because the method of thermal treatment is not that popular. And this guy created a special machine himself. In order to get a good harvest, the soil must be carefully sifted. The easiest way to do this is to use such an amazing device. Sometimes the same brilliant idea comes to different heads at the same time. Here is another mechanism for sifting soil. It is based on the same principle. Probably each of us had to plant potatoes at least once in our lives, and we know that this is not an easy process. These people have come up with a great way to simplify the process, and I know a much better way. I can just buy all the vegetables at the store. Did you know that most walnuts are grown in Ukraine? At the same time, 75% of all world production is carried out in the USA and China. The main problem is the lack of expensive modern equipment for collection and processing in Ukraine. But people invent such machines to collect walnuts on their own. Well, at least we have this type of innovation. As you can see, technologies are rapidly developing, and our production is expanding. We're about to overtake the USA and China. I don't know why this man created a tractor with square wheels. Maybe he lost an argument. Can such a technical solution be justified? What do you think is the point of creating it? And all of the benefits of this tractor are immediately clear. It makes the process of gardening fast and enjoyable. These days, electricity prices are not the only thing to rise. This year, heating a house in winter is so expensive that it is better to use some firewood. And we all know people that don't like to chop firewood, so this guy invented this miracle machine. And here is another device for chopping firewood. It seems to me now that these guys can open their own business. Their neighbors will queue up to buy these devices to prepare some firewood. Inventors will earn some money, while the neighbors will save on utility bills. And have you seen anyone paying a neighbor? No, it's not in our mentality. We are all a bit inventors, so we are going to create a lot of unique machines for chopping firewood. By using such equipment, you can provide the whole village with firewood. Sawmill or carpentry workshop, all these things can easily appear in your own garage. All you need to do is use your brain. The hardest task is to organize the workflow in the right way. These guys had to do a good job to build such equipment. Now they can relax and enjoy the process. Can you imagine how much time and effort it takes to separate corn grains? These days, ultra-modern and expensive equipment is used for this in huge factories. But this guy came up with his own way, and it's just brilliant. This man does not like to buy pineapples in the store and prefers to process these fruits himself. However, without having such a mechanism, it would have been difficult for him. We are so spoiled that delicious food can no longer surprise us. Each of us likes to create real culinary masterpieces. By using such a unique machine, you can perfectly decorate any dish or dessert. We all know that household appliances make life easier, but electricity prices are so high that every washing cycle is a truly expensive pleasure. It's cheaper to wash clothes with your hands, but this man came up with a better idea. This woman's husband is just a genius. By creating such an incredible washing machine, he saved not only on electricity, but also on a gym membership for his wife. And they don't have to pay for a babysitter now. This invention definitely deserves your like. But only a washing machine won't solve all the problems. By using pedals, you can make any household appliance work, even a blender. By using such a pedal generator, you can avoid purchasing electricity from the state. It will provide you with all the necessary appliances while helping you stay in great physical shape. Lazy people like this saying, why would one reinvent the wheel? Now try to think about the following. Isn't it wonderful to ride around your city on this amazing machine? I think it is just the perfect transport for checking vicinities. You can take your friends and visit the most popular places. And how do you like this bike? During the trip, you can use not only your legs, but your hands too. This is the best choice for those who ride a bike for the sake of good physical shape. While people all around the world want to buy a mono wheel, this guy decided to make something similar on his own. To tell the truth, it looks more like a circus unicycle, but this is not that important. And what do you think about this homemade bike? I think it looks cool. And why would you use the stairs if the elevator has been invented a long time ago? In addition, it will not necessarily take up much space. Today, almost everything can be transformed. A sofa becomes a bed, a shelf becomes a table, but I've never seen a window that can be transformed into a balcony. Hidden shelves can be found behind this painting. In my opinion, it's the perfect place for a bar. Just take a look at how a bar counter can appear from nowhere. Your guests will definitely be delighted with such a surprise. No matter how difficult the repair work is, it'll be much easier to cope if you are smart and invent special equipment. And with this invention, you can easily wash the windows from the outside. This is very convenient, especially if you live on the upper floors. Do you want to have a perfectly neat pathway? With such an invention, there is nothing easier. Stupid workers would constantly have to climb off the roof and back. Fortunately, nature has rewarded these men with intelligence and ingenuity. Just look at this. The bags can be filled easily and quickly. In addition, you don't even need to tile them. What a brilliant idea! And this lovely device was invented by a man in order to improve the process of chipboard handling. Now he can do the job faster than a team of movers. Some people are so lazy that for the sake of their own health, they can't even get up from the couch to go to the gym. We all need to take an example from this man. He managed to create a rowing machine on his own. It is true that laziness is the engine of progress. Now, this worker does not have to bend his back at all. However, in order to create such a machine, it was necessary to spend a lot of effort and time. And most importantly, the inventor was really smart. It may seem that there's nothing simpler than a cart on wheels, but what would you say if such a cart could be used on stairs? All you had to do was add wheels. Now, this advanced six-wheeled cart is capable of almost anything. It seems that transporting such a van is not an easy task, but look at those shots. I think everything is perfectly thought out, and the driver is doing a great job. Nothing is impossible for a person with intelligence. You can even put the house on wheels and take it anywhere. The current of the river makes the meat spin. It will be perfectly fried from all sides. At the same time, you can just relax with your friends. Especially if after work you still need to paint the walls at home. In such situations, you can't live without resourcefulness. If you are also paid based on the results of work, then motivation works wonders. All preparatory work takes place instantly. Therefore, you will have both time and energy for your soul. When you have some free time, you can craft a Thor hammer. How can you live without it? And if you get completely carried away without looking at the clock, it may well turn out that the transformer is already ready for use. And then you can go to a new level. Tesla is quite suitable as a reference of another homemade device. And if you don't like Musk's ideas, you can build your own tank. It will come in handy on the farm. And if there are any extra details left, then you can even create a hoverboard in Porsche style. Well, or at least a turbo motorcycle. In this case, everything depends on what is more interesting for you. This guy wanted to make wheels looking like a hedgehog. It can't be used on the highway, but it's a great option for the snow. One talented master created such an amazing metal woodpecker in his garden. It's funny, but his knocking sound gets annoying quickly. And this is a much more useful invention. It will help to pull out the car if it suddenly gets stuck in the mud or just breaks down. The design of this device is quite simple, but it is unlikely that it will be possible to carry it with you just in case. Such a homemade power saw will help to quickly cut the stump into identical rings of the required thickness. The design of this machine is amazingly simple. It was created from 2 wheels and a motor. Working with this mechanism is not difficult at all. The process of planting trees is a necessary thing, but not an easy one, especially if the soil is very dry. But with such an invention, even a fragile woman can easily cope with this task. Holes are ready, so you can plant trees. Driving on a bad road causes great discomfort. Your butt suffers more than other parts of your body, so it is necessary to provide a proper suspension system. But the main thing here is to stop when it's not too late. With such huge wheels, stones, and holes on the road are not a problem anymore. However, the speed is not the best one. One can use an ordinary car wheel to create an astonishing aquarium. You can even decorate your garage with it. If you ever tried to dig up potatoes, you will appreciate this invention. It makes the entire process easy and enjoyable. If you leave seeds for your chickens on the street, they can become wet after rain. But this homemade feeder has a remarkably interesting design. It opens only when the chicken steps on a special platform. I am 100% sure that you have never seen such an unusual vehicle in your life. Just look at this floating trailer. First of all, it is quite a mini house which can fit 3 people. And yet there is a remarkably interesting and unusual paddle attached. However, I don't think it's that easy to row it, and there won't be enough space inside. Take a look at this one. Just turn one of the motorcycle handle and the license plates of your vehicle can be hidden. What an interesting development. I want to see if this beetle can take off as the author intended. Do you think it'll work? We all know that children often play games where some objects fall and they need to be quickly knocked out. So, when the speed becomes too high, the players often do not have time to catch these falling things. However, a couple of inventive people created this system to beat AI, and I must admit, they're quite good at it. If you want to create a perfectly smooth wooden bar from a whole log, you don't really need to have a huge wood processing factory. Such a piece of small production equipment with a laser level is quite suitable for these purposes. This ordinary device is assembled so qualitatively that it seems really professional. Such a homemade saw perfectly cuts through rough tree trunks into perfect parts and in a noticeably short period of time. This homemade device proved once again that nothing is impossible if you apply imagination and knowledge. If you can't choose between a car and a bicycle, you can just combine them. This man coped with this task perfectly. At the same time, it is not entirely clear why he would drag the car behind him, but his invention looks very impressive. Look how cool it is! This is a very thin yet long automatic saw that perfectly cuts a huge piece of wood. Perfect size, high quality cut, and an amazing device. And here is another amazing invention, which is actually a bicycle. In its appearance and operation, it clearly resembles a catamaran. Well, it's very convenient to go. And most important, it's not boring at all because you always have a friend next to you. Friends, are there any car lovers among you who are well versed in repair works? Tell us everything you know about what's happening in this video. If you don't have a professional lawnmower, but you really need to mow the grass, you can always find a way out. This man created an interesting device with his own hands. It can be used to trim the lawn in an amazing way. As they say, where there's a will, there's a way. If a bicycle combined with a car can be used for some purposes, then it is exceedingly difficult to imagine how to use this motorcycle with built-in swimming panels in everyday life. And the most important thing is that the driver is still wet from the splashes. Are you tired of planting and then digging up tons of potatoes every year? We have a solution for the second part of the task. Now you can build yourself something similar and enjoy the work of an iron assistant. There is no need to work with a shovel all day long. And here is another life hack for gardeners. Anyone who works with the soil will definitely find some kind of wheel and a small shovel. And this is an utterly amazing device that makes the entire process of soil processing easier. And here is another interesting DIY invention that definitely catches attention. However, it is not immediately possible to understand what it is intended for. We have not seen it in operation. You have definitely not seen such an amazing invention yet. Can you imagine what kind of woman would put it on in the modern world? Well, maybe for the filming of some historical movie. In any case, this iron bra looks like real armor, which will certainly protect important female organs. People these days love to come up with new ideas to solve issues with their cars and bicycles, and here is a clear example. This is certainly an unusual design with a huge wheel from a tractor. I think such a three-wheeled monster will certainly attract the attention of other drivers on the road. No doubt, one really needed some imagination and creativity to create such a device. Laziness is truly the engine of progress. Can you imagine the exact plan of the author? Just one hit to cut it into 6 parts. What a really worthy invention! Here's another hard-working person. Without such a homemade installation, it is physically impossible to get similar results. Just look at this machine. It doesn't only offer the highest speed possible, but also creates similar products. And now, let's see what can come out of the following combination: a children's bike and a regular drill. What an unexpected result, isn't it? And this guy has an even more unexpected device. He managed to carry the bags in such a way that they remained intact and unpacked. We can't say the same thing about hay, which is disposed of at lightning speed in this miracle stove. However, a spinning element turns out to be useful not only to burn something down, but also to quickly pack a Christmas tree for the holidays. And while the holidays are still far away and the vegetable garden season is ahead, then everyone should take note of this device. It works quickly and efficiently. Similarly to the approach of its outstanding inventor, what a right approach! Why waste your energy if you can spend your resources more expediently? For example, you can make such a flying device for a child, and most importantly, it's uncomplicated and you need a minimum of details. And I am sure that there is no second device like this. It's a handmade gadget, so it has to surprise you with its uniqueness. In any case, the main thing is that the homemade device works as intended, while its presentability goes to the background. Sometimes investors have to get out of the situation and design the necessary tool literally from what they have. Some of them start to improve their inventions, bringing it through new generations. And this guy is undoubtedly grateful to his father. He spent only a couple of minutes on harvesting. And in this case, personally, I have questions about the expediency of using a drone in such a strange way. Maybe it would be useful for something else? It was also possible to find a way to spray the paint so that the girl did not have to puzzle over how to get to the ceiling. And at this time, the guy was so tired of carrying things from the car and back that he decided to urgently automate the entire process. And he's not the only one. Workers of this flower shop also decided not to overload their employees, but to delegate the trimming of bushes to a funny device. However, these people decided to build a much more intricate device on the roof of an ordinary car. This car can have a tour with the local circus. And this car with a swing is quite suitable as its partner. Look at the astonishing result of the owner's work. Unlike the previous case, everything is thought out to the smallest detail here. It could be seen that everything was done with knowledge on the matter. This all-terrain vehicle, in my opinion, is worthy of mass production. I have no doubt about its popularity in the mass market. How to pluck a bird quickly? Ask this guy. He invented a special device and can now pluck at least 100 ducks or chickens a day. Today, any plastic products are easily recycled on heavy-duty equipment. All we have to do is accustom ourselves to sorting garbage. Such a simple machine helps to fold tires quickly and compactly while spending a minimum of time and effort. By using such a drilling device, the holes will always be perfect and it will require minimum effort. What can be made from bamboo? Anything, and even a weapon. And we're not talking about something like a stick, but about a real crossbow. can even build houses out of thick trunks, but first of all, they need to be cut into equal parts. We know an electric kettle, an electric grill, and an electric scooter, so why not invent an electric shovel? It's simply a must-have thing in the household. Construction equipment greatly simplifies the work, and it can be used not only for its intended purpose. Working with a chainsaw is much easier than I could have imagined. Even someone who has never held an ordinary saw in his hands can easily cope with such a machine. Only very naive people rely on public services to clear the roads. Smart people rely on only themselves and prepare for snowfall in advance. You say it's not comfortable to sleep on the ceiling? And what will you say about the bed under the ceiling? It's quite comfortable to sleep on it. If you haven't tried it, there's no way you can know it. And this is a transforming table. It changes the size of the countertop depending on the number of invited guests. Personally, I would love to ride on such a means of transport. You can even take the whole family with you, including your dog. Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't know about people, but something tells me that this trailer was a car itself in a previous life. Have you ever dreamed of hiding away from everyone together with your beloved one? It seems that these two have already done this. Just him, her, their house, and the road. Such a homemade jack will make life easier for any amateur car mechanic. And that's how you can easily and simply load a jet ski. In fairy tales, there's a flying carpet, and all we have now is a sofa plane. However, it is unlikely to take off since the designers decided to avoid having wings. Not all people like traditional fishing with fishing rods. It's too boring to sit staring at the float. With the help of such a mechanism, fishing becomes a much more interesting and vivid activity. Do you still open beer with a regular bottle opener? This guy is not looking for easy ways. Before opening the bottle, he had to work a lot and invent such a mechanism. One small wheel can significantly facilitate the work of a hard worker. Ingenuity always helps to solve even the most complex tasks. By using such a machine, you can easily and quickly process a huge plantation from pests while enjoying the process. Such an alarm clock will make you get out of bed no matter how much you resist. Well, you will definitely not be late for work, but the mood from such a rise will be spoiled for the whole day. It seems that bartenders are at risk of being jobless. This amazing machine easily prepares any cocktail from 12 drinks. The only downside is that the machine won't listen to you like a real bartender. The balloon has been invented for a long time, but it is not cheap at all. This guy decided to make it himself from the cheapest materials. It took several months, but he managed to take off. This man loves horses very much, but he can't keep one of them in his apartment. He found a way out, so he created an iron horse that doesn't need food. You don't need to clean up after it either, and you can ride as much as you want. Planting rice is not an easy matter, but with this 2-row planting and seeding machine, it is possible to cope with the work much faster. This amazing device was invented by the workers themselves. The washing machine was invented so that you could do other things while washing. This man decided that it was possible to combine a washing machine and an exercise bike. I think it's a great idea. What about you? It's not always pleasant to touch the toilet seat to lift it, but you can easily and quickly press the pedal with your foot. What a great invention! You will agree that picking up feces during a walk is not the most pleasant activity, but this dog belt with a bag will help solve this problem. It is true that laziness is the engine of progress. This guy was too lazy to get up from the sofa, but he attached a motor, steering wheel, and wheels to the sofa. Digging the soil with such an innovative soil is an enjoyable process. The most difficult thing is to create such a shovel. After that, nothing can stop you. By using such an unusual raft, one can easily clear the reservoir of algae quickly enough. We all know what pliers look like, but this tool is 7 times better. Take a look. He combined 7 pliers at once. Now, let's see how it works. Uprooting all the stumps on the land plot is quite hard work. However, by using such a device, even this difficult task can be handled easily and quickly. I don't know the correct name of this device, but digging up a garden is an easy task for him now. It's almost as fun as enjoying an amusement ride. This homemade mechanism turns corn into sticks in a second. 1, 2, and it's done. I don't know about you, but I haven't met anyone who likes peeling potatoes. This device will do the job for you, and each potato will be peeled with the precision of a jeweler. Have you ever wondered how much effort and time it takes to peel corn to create popcorn? It won't take a lot of time in a factory, but manually, this process would take too much time. Therefore, the masters of homemade crafts come up with these kinds of devices. Of course, it is possible to cut a huge number of branches for firewood, but it is exceedingly difficult. Back pain and calluses on your hands will definitely become a problem. But if you use your brain, you can create a machine that will cope with a huge amount of work in a matter of minutes. If you have a private home, you know how difficult it is to deal with the ever-growing grass and weeds. But now, there is a way to solve this problem. This master has come up with an amazing invention that uproots the weeds in a matter of seconds. Just take a look at it. Starting from now, you no longer need to swing a hammer while being scared to hit your fingers. As it turned out, you can make an interesting device that will work for you. All you have to do is to turn the handle to enjoy the process. And here's another good example of how you can quickly cut a huge piece of wood in no time. Just think about how an ordinary homemade tool can make life easier and save a lot of time. It is difficult to say for sure what the author of this homemade product was going to do with them and why he used this particular form, but we must admit that such a hammer looks very spectacular. If you do not have a couple of huskies and you really want to experience vivid emotions from such entertainment, then there's a way to solve this situation for you. This is a unique homemade snowmobile. Use some imagination and your dreams will come true. Not everyone will agree to take a ride in such a strange car, and this guy does not want to think about who and what will say about him. He absolutely does not care if somebody suddenly says that his vehicle does not look fashionable. It moves and allows you to drive around without walking on foot. And now you can see a real monster of the automotive homemade industry. It's a joke. I hope you got it. At the same time, this car looks powerful on tracked tank base. By using such a car, it will be possible to pass even the most difficult sections of the road. And here are some more interesting options from the same story. Would you like to own such a car? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you don't want to work at all, here's a bicycle for lazy people. What a great new invention! You will only need to fill up the fuel and you can enjoy the ride. If a lot of snow falls regularly at your region and you have no desire or strength to clear it with a shovel, then you definitely need to have the following inventions. Don't remember to write the information about it down: minimum effort and maximum benefits. Each of you has played tanks on the console as a child. It seemed that everyone played it, both boys and girls. But this guy never got out of that age and decided to create a similar vehicle with his own hands. What a great job! However, the dimensions are too small. And then this man went even further and decided to create a completely unique means of transportation. He put together the elements of an old metal boat and car wheels with a frame. I wonder, will he be able to go on it? What will other people say? We have already seen vehicles with unique devices for processing wood, and these guys have come up with something completely new. Their homemade equipment is capable of cutting huge pieces of wood into many pieces at once. What a convenient device, especially if you stock up on firewood for the winter. I don't know how convenient and effective such a device can be, but its author is clearly enjoying the process. It resembles something like a crane and an excavator at the same time. However, it seems a bit useless. Now, it is rare to see river tramways in our rivers, and it used to be very fashionable. The creator of this unique device wanted to turn back time. Harvesting with an ordinary scythe is always difficult. In addition, it requires time, but only if you do it manually. This guy decided to make himself an interesting tool that significantly reduces time and saves energy. Some people buy drones and enjoy amazing flights. At the same time, many people prefer building them on their own. It looks like a tiny UFO, which is very impressive. Sometimes, even peeling one corn to enjoy sweet buns is not an easy task. And what to do if you have to process thousands of them? In such a case, homemade inventions can solve the issue while significantly improving the process. This man came up with a remarkably interesting and unusual device that looks like a helicopter. Even though it looks attractive, the vehicle can't take its pilot high in the sky, and it would be nice. In order to prepare the firewood for the winter, you need to put a lot of effort every year. You can also use your brain to make such a device and chop firewood with a light movement of the hand. Quail eggs are an unbelievably valuable and useful product. However, because of their size, the process of peeling takes an exceptionally long time. At first glance, it is difficult to understand what kind of device this is, and this is a quail egg cleaning machine. It remains only to use a plate and the meal is served. You will agree that such a homemade car is much more useful and educational than modern electric cars for kids. This girl's dad has golden hands. It's not enough to buy a speedboat, you also need to somehow deliver it to the nearest reservoir. In order to do that, these guys made such an unusual vehicle. And there's no need to have a boat to swim. This guy made a homemade catamaran out of wood and an old bicycle. You could hardly imagine a hybrid of a steam car and a bicycle, but you have it here and now. You won't see it anywhere else. This man is definitely not bored in retirement. Often, people condemn those who are too lazy to get up even from the couch. Do not forget that laziness is the engine of progress, which means that lazy people are the most progressive people in the world. This guy is so lazy and resourceful that he travels on his favorite couch. This vehicle is even difficult to describe in words. It's something in between a tractor and a bike. If you have an idea how to name this transport, please write it in the comments below. And here is another equally amazing homemade motorcycle. This transport is partially tracked. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can race at a high speed on it. Motorcycles are often called iron horses. However, in order to avoid confusion, you need to call things by their proper names because you could meet a real iron horse on the road. If I hadn't seen this video with my own eyes, I would have never believed that it was possible to make a ball out of wood. The guy just cut out individual parts and glued them together with glue. But I still find it hard to believe that you can play football with this ball. If a person is incredibly talented, they can create beauty from the simple things that surround them. Take a look at what one artist did with an ordinary car's rear window. Amazingly simple, just a light brush movement and a real masterpiece is done. However, in order for a miracle to happen, the brush must be in the hand of a real master. This is the kind of prosthesis one person managed to make out of cardboard. It is fully functional, but it has one drawback. Only a person with a healthy arm can control it, and they don't really need a prosthesis. This is what cars looked like in the old days. This man created such a car with his own hands. I bet that people will always look at him and not at Ferrari and Lamborghini. Such a machine will help you easily separate corn grains. You only need an old bicycle and a tin can. I didn't even suspect that someone might use a vacuum cleaner in a field of dandelions. In order to make it come true, they had to invent a whole new device. The process of leveling concrete becomes much more exciting if you apply this amazing invention. There are many different ways to open a bottle, but the author of the next invention is definitely not looking for easy ways. Yes, this is not the easiest way to open a bottle, but you definitely have not seen such a bottle opener yet. I'm sure that you also see such a hammer for the first time. It's no better than the usual one, but definitely more original. And this shovel is really useful in the household. You can dig and sew with it at the same time. If you suddenly decide to cut the wall of your house, I won't ask why, then you will definitely need such a tool. How to plant vegetables in your garden without even getting your hands dirty? Modern Inventions will help you. Getting together with friends in the garage is a pleasant activity. For many men, it's a whole ritual. But few people can cook a barbecue under the hood of a car, but we're sure that the taste is excellent. This mini train on a monorail is an indispensable gardener's assistant. Each potato goes a long and difficult way before it ends up at the local market or supermarket. When you have such a miracle at hand, you can easily mow an entire field. This young inventor came up with his cheaper version of virtual reality. However, you always need to know when to stop. Planting potatoes is a tedious task and requires a lot of effort and patience. However, with the help of such a device, everything becomes much easier. Pay attention to the unusual way of this pavement creation. No one else has something similar for sure. Skillful inventors have built the machine that can easily load and transport huge trunks of trees. And this solution allows dealing with two issues at once: to dispose of waste and provide housing for the homeless. In my opinion, this is a great idea. Perhaps all couriers will move around the city in this way soon. Would you like to go for a river walk right at the dinner table? Most importantly, do not forget to take delicious food with you and put your life jackets on. Spider-Man is no longer the same, but he is still inventive and resourceful. When you dream of spending the whole evening sitting on the couch, it does not mean that it must necessarily happen at home. Dynasphere is the most unusual car from the past, which may become the car of the future one day. Dynasphere was assembled by Dr. John Archibald Purves according to the sketches of Leonardo da Vinci in 1932. And this is a real flying car. Maybe it's not real, to be honest. It's hard to explain what's going on here. And who can be surprised with a flying car these days? After all, we even have flying boats now. As soon as this boat plane reaches a speed of 70 kilometers per hour, it rises above the water and hovers in the air. Even if you can't ride in such a car in rainy weather, and even if you're not able to drive at high speed, you will definitely attract the attention of people around you. The main thing of every invention is its practicality, while appearance is already a secondary issue. Being a superhero is not easy, but someone has to save the world. In this costume, everyone will feel like a Marvel hero. While some teenagers only dream of owning their own car, others are already assembling it with their own hands. Such a unique invention can make life easier for people with disabilities. This man designed the world's largest bicycle and rode it through the streets of his hometown. Pay attention to this amazing type of transport and try to come up with the most unusual name for it in the comments below. This little car drives at a speed of 25 kilometers per hour, but if you live in a tiny city where there is no hurry, you may like it. Looking for the perfect transport for moving around the resort town? Use this one if you want to check all the local attractions in an amazingly comfortable way. A homemade car will not surprise anyone anymore. And what about a homemade helicopter? If you put a shovel on the wheels, it will greatly facilitate the work. Why wasn't it invented before? Why do people still use the old shovels without wheels? And this is another unique invention of the new generation that will help you unscrew a nut of any size, irrespectively to its location. It is not difficult to make an iron hand from a wrench and metal blanks for a true master. This homemade treadmill is not only a great exercise machine for a horse, but also an energy source for grain mills or washing machines. Horses can train for a reason. Any racer will envy such a homemade tricycle. Would you like to ride one of these? Write in the comments below. Just imagine how long it would take to peel so many quail eggs by hand. This homemade machine removes the eggs from the shell very quickly while not damaging them. With the help of such a drill, you can easily drill a hole of any diameter. It was created by a real genius. This homemade retainer has a fairly simple design, but firmly holds objects of any shape, even an egg. The working element of these pliers bends in any direction. With the help of such a tool, the wire can be given absolutely any shape. And here is another homemade tool for bending wire. You can use it to create rounded shapes. I don't know if this boy made such a means of transport on his own, or if someone helped him, but his peers are definitely jealous of him. Safety is important. No one will be able to crack such a lock, so the owner of the house can sleep peacefully. And this guy created a homemade grater. Its design seems remarkably simple, but this machine helps to make the work much easier. A real grater is not cheap, and its functions are the same. These workers have come up with a way to easily and quickly load all the collected sugarcane into the body. A hoverbike is an aircraft that can be built right in the garage. In fact, it's a flying motorcycle that rises into the air as a drone. I don't know how this guy came up with the idea to make a mechanical lion. Perhaps he always dreamed of riding a lion but was afraid of it? Now he can ride this homemade lion all day long. This transport is perfect for our roads. If you can't get rid of holes and pits on the road, you need to create an all-terrain vehicle. And this car was added with 2 wheels on the back. Now it looks like a monster truck. In addition, it has a ski in front of it. Now one can ride through snowdrifts without any problems. And why did no one think to attach a small wheel to the shovel before? Imagine how much easier it is to work with such a tool. This worker studied physics well at school and used the law of leverage to create this amazing mechanism capable of lifting and transporting even the heaviest cargo without much difficulty. It turns out that even a wheel can be put on wheels, and then it'll be much easier to move and transport. With this universal tool, you can weed and prepare your garden faster. Why would you spend a lot of money on expensive pavement if it can be made with a homemade device? Several improvised bricks were welded into a small structure. Just take it and create the pavement. That's what we call cheap and cheerful. We have already seen people using horses to perform various types of agricultural work, but creating a treadmill for a horse to operate a device instead of using electricity is something new. As they say, one has to sing for his supper. These men apparently decided to combine business with pleasure. They started cooking their own dinner right during the work process. Well, why not? We need to remember their great idea for the future. Judging by the video, this huge and heavy device really cuts wood perfectly, but its weight and dimensions definitely spoil the whole picture.
Holy crap, that's gonna be heavy.
Where did you put the hammer or screwdriver? Stop bothering yourself with this. This is an original solution to this issue. Take a look at a very convenient metal organizer. It is affordable and can be crafted with your own hands. It's hard to say why this master decided to attach such a metal circle to his car, but apparently the idea turned out to be remarkably successful for him. We would also like to understand why this round part of the vehicle is needed. It was genuinely nice of the owners to take care of their pets. They gave him real entertainment by creating this unique ascending and descending mechanism. And why would he use his paws? Just enter it and take a ride. I am 100% sure that you have never seen this anywhere else. Man invented a simply amazing way of transportation on rails. He took a pallet and used it to move around. How did I not think of this myself? By using such an innovative jack for the car, it is much easier to repair it, especially if you understand the construction of your car. Now, there is certainly no need to take the vehicle to the service station. Everything can be done on your own. Do you want an automatic gate opening system for your home? Now you don't have to spend a lot of money on it. You can make it yourself. Are you interested in how? It's going to be more difficult to find the author of this device. Do you hate the beginning of spring? Don't you want to go to the garden and dig up the beds? I have some good news for you. An amazing solution to this problem has been found. It is enough just to find a part of an old bicycle and use your imagination. People are able to find different ways of entertaining. This guy has made an amazing device that can be used to safely go to the frozen river and have a great time. Don't you know how to cut a long bar of wood quickly and efficiently? Now it's very easy to do. You don't even have to strain yourself. Rotate the handle and that's it. It's convenient, isn't it? This video is dedicated to all lovers of beauty, namely craftsmen and builders who like to be creative in their work. Just look at how cool this fence looks. As you can see, all you need is imagination, and you can create something utterly unique and inimitable. When you are expecting a large number of guests to visit, usually the issue of cooking enough meat becomes very acute. How can you cook many portions of delicious meat at the same time for everyone? It's a difficult question, but it has been solved. With the help of such a homemade device, you will definitely feed all the guests on time. Sawing wood by hand is not popular anymore. There are many new and interesting ways of cutting wood nowadays. Look at the screen, and you may want to create similar devices at home. And there is another original way of cutting a large piece of wood, but you will need an old car and a little more time to use it. And if you don't have a car, then an old metal blade is quite suitable. All you have to do is solder a special cone-shaped nozzle that will easily divide your log in half. And finally, one more mechanism. This one was invented on the basis of a large spring. However, here you will have to work a little. At the same time, you don't have to use an axe. And in case if you need to make an absolutely smooth cutting of wood, then such a homemade construction will help. Why are you surprised? It looks genuinely nice, and most importantly, it does its job.